Hi, I'm Victor Margiotta, and this is the Community Show. Thank you so much for watching. I am very fortunate to have Jim Sacci. He is the president of the Peekskill Rotary Club, and we're going to talk about the Rotary. We're going to talk a little about Jim himself, and we're going to talk about how you can get involved in the community, which the Rotary has been serving for 101 years. And so glad that you were able to come on. Thank you, Jim.
Thanks, Victor.
Pleasure
to be here.
I appreciate it. Tell us a little about yourself.
Well, I've been a Peekskill resident for about 24 years now. I grew up in Yonkers before that. My parents enrolled us in a lot of sporting activities when we were kids, and I think being involved in group sports helped me to work well with others, which is very similar to what you do in business, what we do in the Peekskill Rotary Club. We all work together towards a common goal.
How were you introduced to the Rotary?
Through my friend Larry Denoya, who I met playing racquetball.
Oh, nice.
We kind of connected almost 20 years later after that. After I left my job, I was delivering milk at the time, and I left that to go into my freelance business. I joined the Chamber of Commerce and got reconnected with Larry. He showed me around the chamber and brought me into Rotary. And Rotary was kind of something I had been looking for, right, providing community service. So it was perfect fit for me, and it was the perfect guy to bring me into Rotary.
Yeah, and it's got an excellent history. Like I said, it's together now 101 years.
100 year. Yesterday was our
anniversary.
Birthday. That's anniversary, yeah.
I guess it was. I was reading up on it. You can find anything on the internet now, but the website for Rotary is excellent. You can go on www.peekskillrotary.com, and the website's excellent. They also had the history of the Rotary, which I was reading up on, and it actually started in 1919. There were 11 members, and then it got up to 22 members, I believe. And they were very enthusiastic. They were all business owners in Peekskill. That's something about Peekskill that's excellent. The business, it was an industrial town, and right on the Hudson. And it brought together a lot of people. Like you said, it gives us a chance to do service. So what was your first experience with the Rotary?
My first experience, one that really hit home for me, was just at a normal lunch meeting where the Peekskill Community Volunteer Ambulance Corps, a couple of guys came in and they gave us a presentation. What they were looking for was ideas to raise funds to get, I can't remember what the name of the machine was, but right, it provides the chest compressions. When somebody goes into cardiac arrest, this machine goes on and automatically, does the manual labor. By the end of that lunch meeting, we had raised $14,000 through personal donations from all the members to purchase that machine. So that really struck me that this is some club, one of a kind.
Yeah, and you can't do anything without money. It's impossible, and everything, in this day and age is expensive. And $14,000, and it's an incredible amount of money. But another thing I read about the history was they used to do minstrel shows, and they had card parties, and they had boy bands. And then, as the time progressed, they decided to do a horse show, and that was in 1971, actually. And I love 1971 when I hear 1972. I was just a little kid, but for me, Peekskill was a great memory because we used to go shopping there. My mother would take us to Buster Brown to buy shoes, and Janung's was there, and the other department stores, and Peekskill for me growing up was always a great thing, and today it still is. So let's jump right into the horse show.
As you mentioned, 1971. So this is the 50th show. Unfortunately, we had to transition to a virtual show. We just can't get the permits with the county or take the risks because of COVID this year. But we are going to have a show this year. It's going to be all online. We've got some entertainment set up for kids. We've got a magician, storytellers. We've got possibly a comedian. We've got a concert. Would be musicians going through performances throughout the day from 9 to 5 on November 7th. We're also incorporating a virtual equestrian show where we're giving riders the opportunity to submit videos, which will be judged by an internationally known judge who was coming for our 50th show anyway. This is a big show. We wanted to get the best in the area. They've been sent a course or set of instructions that they need to follow for the video. So they, whenever they're ready to do it, they just tape themselves, submit the video. The judge will review all the videos and, award ribbons to the winners. So it is an opportunity. There aren't too many other, I don't believe there are any equestrian shows going on at this time right now.
Even with, the baseball and the football, and they have the cutout,
Yeah, the sound.
And even you can't stop it though. These are money-making machines that can't be, and they have to pay their bills too. So people do need to watch sports. There's no doubt about it. For me, I love the Olympics, and I wish they would have something every year. Maybe the trials or whatever. I think it would get people, into exercising and working out. I know when I watch the Olympics, I can't help wanting to lift weights or go jogging or, really do something to get back in shape,
I think the best decision they made was alternating every 2 years, like the winter and summer.
Yeah,
before that, you had to wait 4 years for both.
Right. Yeah. So you're not a horse rider, are you?
No, I know. The only little bit I know about equestrian is from our horse show.
Yeah.
I worked the ring a little bit our first year, so I learned a little bit about setting up jumps, and I've seen the what they call the prize list, which tells like all the classes that the riders can enter, equestrian and Western. That's about it.
Right. Well, I've got an opportunity to help out last year. I've never been because I'm always working Saturday and Sunday. And I said, well, I have off. Why don't I go and see, and you're probably the 5th Rotarian I've had on the show. And I can't help but want to promote the club because of how much they do, And so I went and got to work in the food tent, got to meet some people. I had a ball. It was awesome. Got to watch the horses, and the kids were very excited about being there, and it was a really good thing.
That's a big part of that show for us is the camaraderie. We all come together for a long weekend to work together. But not all members can make it to lunch all the time. But unless something really comes up that they can't make it that weekend, they're there. And we work hard during the show, but we have a good time together.
Well, that's the thing. You guys aren't a glum lot, that's for sure. Everybody seems to be happy and having a good time, and that's important. Who wants to go to a club that people aren't?
It's not fun. That's one of the members that's been there for decades. One of the first things he said to me in my first day becoming a member was, just have fun.
Yeah. And speaking of fun, I've been going on the Zoom meetings, and you were wearing a SpongeBob costume.
For this whole month of October.
Yeah, now what's that all about?
The president, all right, every year every member is asked to give a donation to Rotary International. It's called Every Rotarian every year. It goes to the International Fund, which eventually comes back to our club in grants if we apply for them.
Sure.
When we get 100% participation for the month of October, the president gets to wear his or her costume for the year.
Yeah. Wow, that's pretty
So
wild.
I am a scuba diver, so somebody suggested I do
SpongeBob.
SpongeBob SquarePants, whereas I just found out happens to live under the sea in a pineapple house. So
Yeah.
that's it's been challenging on
Yeah.
Zoom.
I wasn't a big fan of a lot of the cartoons. When I was a kid, we had some great cartoons, you know, Bugs Bunny and
Sure.
you know. But the ones in this day and age, but I did like SpongeBob. It was pretty funny. And
I've never seen a show.
no, yeah. My brother though, he had to cut it off. He didn't like how his kids were acting after they watched it, so he banned the SpongeBob in his house. But you know, now meetings, they say since the beginning of the Rotary, the Peekskill Rotary, the meetings have never been interrupted. So even from 1919 till today. So not even the COVID could stop you guys.
Well, that's a nice thing about technology these days.
Yeah.
We were able to transfer quickly right into Zoom meetings. And we had great turnouts on Zoom.
Yeah.
You know, like I mentioned before, a lot of members can't make it to every single meeting in person anymore. And a lot of them that we hadn't seen in a while were able to start attending again.
Yeah, even me.
Even virtually, you know, right, even yourself, you know,
Yeah.
you could join from right here. So.
Right. So it was nice. I don't think I missed one since they asked me to start coming on. So the only thing it's tough now to try and get back into a restaurant. You actually tried to go back to Colonial. Couldn't get much of a turnout. So
Yeah, it's tough. You know, a lot of our members just aren't
no.
comfortable
Yeah.
right now. They've got the outdoor part, so you know we'll get back there every now and then,
Yeah, at
for
some
as long
point.
as we can.
Yeah.
So, like we say, we'll see what happens in the next couple months.
So you've been a member 5 years. How'd you get to be president already?
I was asked to be on the board, and I was thrilled to be on the board. And while I was on the board, I was asked to become secretary, and figured why not? Sure.
Yeah.
Once you get on the, you know, when you're a member and attending lunch meetings, you know, you kind of get a sense of what's going on. Once you get on the board, then you really
See what's going on.
see what your club is doing in your local community and internationally too. The Rotary is an international organization. You know, it's like-minded people all around the world.
Yep.
So not only do we have friends in the club, but we could travel anywhere in the world and attend another club's meeting.
Right.
You know, right away you're walking in and you have friends and you're accepted anywhere.
Yeah. What are some of your responsibilities as president?
As president, I work with our foundation to decide where we allocate our money. You know, every dollar we raise at these horse shows and Cherry Blossom Festival, we spend. You know, every year we give out to, I believe it was almost 80 organizations last year that we contributed to. So that's what, you know, my job is to run the board meetings. When somebody requests funds, they come to me and I present it to my board. And we have our discussions and we vote on how much, if we all agree, should be sent to an organization. You know, we only contribute to 501c3s, so it's all nonprofits that we work with.
Right. A big one that you can't help but love is, you know, they got involved with RIF. Reading is fundamental back in, there's 1971 again. And they set up a mini library from a bus, and they would distribute books to the kids in the area. And they were a big contributor to the field library right there in Peekskill. And now they have literacy lovers
Correct, yeah.
Talk a little about that.
Literacy lovers, we built what we call these golden bookshelves. We have 6 of them in different locations right now, and it was, kids could just walk up and grab a book,
Yeah.
you know, take a book home, and that's
Yeah.
it. We just keep
filling 'em up,
restocking them. Some of our members who are part of this committee, you know, they spend a lot of time going all over the tri-state area looking for books at an affordable price. We get a lot of donations also of gently used books, which we're not doing right now. You know,
Yeah,
it's just we're not
you can't
comfortable
do it. No,
taking them in.
there's no way.
I saw for myself when we were doing these meal distributions in Peekskill, they couldn't stock these bookshelves anymore because, you know, they just weren't allowed in. The waiting area, the community wasn't there either.
Yep.
So at these food distributions, we were setting up tables with all these books on it. And, you know, these people that are showing up with kids, the kids just were gravitating to these tables. They wanted, you know, we had to stop them so they're not putting their hands all over all these books. But I was amazed that, you know, I don't have any kids. My wife and I don't have kids myself. But to see them, just their eyes light up when they got a book in their hands, it was, you know, you realize what a worthwhile project we're working on.
Well, they say the sooner the better to get books in kids' hands.
And that's the whole point, and get them reading at an early age.
Yeah.
Even getting parents or any elder to read to them at a younger age, even before they're reading. There's studies shown that when you start reading to them in the womb, how it increases their learning once they're born. So that's where the goal started, to get elders reading to the kids, and then it transitioned into this golden bookshelves where, you know, kids could just come and take books.
It's awesome.
Whenever they wanted.
It's a great thing. There's so many good things about the Rotary. They were very big into the helping with the polio virus, and now we just had what was it, Polio Week or?
World Polio Day is
Polio
this
Day.
Saturday, October
okay.
24th. Down the city, they normally have a big walk down there. It's another event that's gone virtual, so it's going to be, our district's got its own virtual event. We raised so far $1,500 to give to our district. I had a goal of $1,000. Part of it is we did a virtual walk on Saturday, and I challenged our members to meet that $1,000 goal. I told them if they did, I would meet everybody as SpongeBob in the parking lot. And that's all you have to do is challenge our members to do something, and they're gonna get the job done. Especially if you know someone's going to show up in a costume, they're gonna do it. So,
That's awesome.
So this Saturday sounds like another fun event.
You guys give out a lot of scholarships too.
Yeah, we give out scholarships to Peekskill High School, Panis, and Hen Hut High School. I think 8 or 9 in total every year.
And now you're actually doing not just for the scholarships for school, but also for the trades. So
yes, there's a Sampson scholarship to a young adult that wants to go into continuing education for any trade.
Yeah. You know what it is too, a lot of people are more hands-on rather than, the book smart.
Right, yeah.
And I tell you, there's going to be a shortage of plumbers and electricians and steam fitters and all these guys. I mean,
they're great professions.
They are.
Right
I mean,
now,
out of the box, you're making a nice amount of money.
Right. If you're a skilled laborer,
and there's no shame in doing that kind of work.
Your phone will continue to ring all the time.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Okay, now I had Joe Lapolis on a couple of years ago, and he was doing a thing where they helped kids get surgeries for cleft lip. Are they still doing that?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of what that organized Smile,
Yeah.
Small Train. Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that they were doing that back then. We're not actively at this time. This past year, actually, Joe years ago too was part of this other one. It's called Gift of Life, where you know, providing heart surgery for kids. We provided enough funds last year for 3 kids to have heart surgery. Gift of Life, what they used to do was bring kids, say, to the United States that needed this life-saving surgery to have these operations. What Gift of Life did was started training doctors and nurses in these kids' home countries, a lot of Latin American countries, to perform these surgeries. So it cut the cost considerably.
Sure.
Where, you know, you could probably do 3 or 4 in their own country instead of bringing them to the United States for these surgeries. So that's another program that, you know, I'm going to be supporting this year also. When you see pictures of an infant having life-saving heart surgery, you know,
No, it's you can't help but want to do something.
Right, yeah.
You know. Now, how long does your presidency last?
It's 1 year.
Oh, it's a one-year term.
It starts July 1st.
Okay.
That's when Rotary year starts and ends June 30th.
Now, how would someone try to join the Rotary?
What we do is a member will usually bring somebody in as a guest, as their sponsor. You know, you come in for 5 meetings, you get to know people, then your application goes through the review process. And that's it. Then, you know, you get inducted. Things have changed because of, you know, it's all Zoom meetings now. So you know, technically you like people to come in and every meeting sit at a different table, so you get to know everybody. So it's interesting, but we're still, as you know, bringing people in through Zoom and
and it's working.
Yeah.
There's a tradition of wearing a hat at the meetings and having them signed. Now, what's the reason for that?
The white hat, yes.
The white
for
hat.
New members, white hat.
Okay.
New members get a white hat on the day that they're inducted to the club. The objective is to go around to other members to get them to sign their hat. So you need to get as much of the white space filled with signatures as possible, and you need to request at a meeting to be able to remove your hat. You know, until you can remove it, you need to wear that hat at all meetings, all club functions.
Yep. So that's a good thing. I mean, you know, people that join these kind of clubs usually are, like you said, personable. That's, you know, you learn that when you were a kid, when you were on the sports teams. And, you know, for me, I grew up in a family of 10. I had no choice. I had 100 cousins. And, you know, when everybody showed up at your house, you had to say hi to everybody and give everybody a hug and a kiss. And, you know, and then when you left, it was an hour saying goodbye to everybody, you know. And you're trying to leave, and somebody would start another story, and then everybody would stand there and listen to another story. But, you know, for me personally, you know, I was always an outgoing person, and you know, that's what I think is missing now. There's not enough people joining these clubs and getting that experience.
Well, it's been Rotary. It's tough bringing in new members, especially the new generations.
Yeah.
Getting them involved. And it's not only Rotary.
No,
it's all type
everything.
of organizations.
Even the fire department, everything.
I was involved with the local scuba diving club, and it was the same thing. It was a club that had been around for decades, and most of the members had been around for decades.
Yeah.
But it's getting that next generation involved. And I think it's just they're involved with so many things.
Yep.
If they have kids, they're in so many different
Oh, I know.
directions. So it's you have
It's
to
very
you have
difficult.
to adapt to fit their schedule.
Yeah, because like when we were kids, my father was part of the church. He was part of the Italian club. And he worked 6 days a week. You know, but he was involved. He had Monday night bowling, and but it's like you said, there's so much
I just,
going
and
on.
maybe it's the technology age where parents or all adults are always connected to their job. They're always on call.
Yeah. So I think it was 1987, the Rotary had always been a fraternal club. And the United States Supreme Court ordered them to allow women to join the club. So, was this a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's a great thing. Our first female president was Deb Malone from the Hudson Valley Gateway Chamber of Commerce. I don't know what the percentage is, but I think we're pretty close to 50-50 right now.
Yeah.
I've been in, like I said, in my scuba diving club, another organization. The women work pretty hard, and sometimes they're more reliable than the men. So I'm all for it.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. I mean, I was always a big fan of women. I mean, my mother worked very hard, and I just, my grandmother, and the respect I have for what she did and how hard she worked. There's no reason for not
excluding.
Yeah,
that,
exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Of course, and like you said, they work just as hard as anybody else, and it's when they're now joining the Army and they're joining the police force and they're holding their own. They deserve to make just as much money as men. I don't see any reason why they don't make just as much money as men, and they add that little bit extra.
Different point of view.
Different point
Might
of view.
be even a better point of view.
Could
than,
be,
than a male point of view sometimes, right?
Yeah, for sure. So, any last words on the Rotary?
If I could just, I'd like to go back to our horse show and just mention one more aspect of the virtual horse show.
Yeah.
We're also having a section for vendors. We normally have vendors at the live show, and these vendors go out on weekends to fairs, which they really don't have the opportunity to do anymore. So we have a section for them on the website also, as well as we're trying to provide, restaurants a little section too. Maybe asking them to submit cooking videos, maybe a little quick menu, how they do something. We'd love to have that. Just a little showcase for vendors and restaurants to get their name out,
That's
a little
perfect.
bit also.
So go on the website. We should probably have that flashed up on the screen at some point. And, Rotary is a great club to join if you're looking for something to do. Join the fire department. There's so many opportunities out there to share your ability and your input. So thank you, Jim, for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for watching. This is Victor Margiotta, and that's Just the Community.